I'm doing something that's not usual of a fireside chat in the sense that I have um, a couple of slides, literally 3 slides, which I'd like to share, and we can use that as a base for our conversation, if that's okay. Okay,
Yes, it is.
thank you. I'm gonna present now. Um, hold on. By the way, this is my first time using StreamYard, so I'm hoping I share the right one. Okay, I got it right. So my talk today is on bringing your authentic self to tech conferences. And whilst this conference is about enabling developers and anyone who's in the tech space to be able to be a speaker at a tech conference, I thought it's important to remind everyone on the importance of being authentic, like bringing your real self to the stage. So there's one. Um, I don't know if it's an abstract from a speech that was once done by former President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. It's called "Be the Man in the Arena." So I've got uh, the full abstract here, which I wanna share with you. So this is like a small snippet out of a whole speech that he said, but I think it's quite important and critical for everyone who's attending the conference today and wanting to sign up to be a speaker. What I want to say to you is that it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena. I really, really love this speech because it's very easy for people who are in the background watching you give a talk, whether at a meetup or conference, criticize how you could have done better or how great or not so good your talk was. But I think being brave enough to actually sign up to be a speaker is really, really very commendable. And you need to know that you are victorious just by signing up to be a speaker and putting yourself in a vulnerable position to share knowledge about whatever topic you would have chosen. So this is something I wanted to share. And another thing I wanted to share is a book by Susan Jeffers, and it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So if you're thinking about talking at a tech conference, I'm here to tell you, you know, what, feel the fear, but do it anyway. Sign up and be a speaker. So, yeah, Lily and Oliver, I think we can use that as a base for bringing your authentic self to a tech conference. And I just realized that I didn't introduce myself. So my name is Lebogang Madise. I'm a dev audience PMM at Microsoft, and I'm based out of South Africa. Um, so yeah, it's a great pleasure to be with you all today.
Thank you. And do it anyway. So do it afraid, do it shaking, be nervous, go about it. Who knows what could happen? Worst case, you may get in, you learn, you get better for the next one. Thank you for making this as soothing as possible. Everybody has a fear. You spoke to us directly. See, be the man in the arena. Go in there. It resonates with all that the others have said so far, and they tell us to get. You have to give it a shot. You just keep applying as many times as possible. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, Oliver. You want to add up too?
Are you on mute, Oliver?
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So I've been talking mostly at meetups and somewhere 2020. Okay, I started off from 2019 where I wanted to speak at bigger conferences. So I sent in a proposal to the US Congress team. That was the 2019 proposal, 2019 conference. So after sending in my proposal for that talks, I think what made me accepted was the fact that I describe myself as someone who is beginning my journey um, into speaking at bigger conferences. Although I have been organizing meetups and speaking at meetups, so uh, after describing myself in that manner, I think there was even a program for that conference known as the I think first time speakers. So for the first time speakers is they select those who want to speak at bigger conferences and they train them for some time so that they can present at on bigger stages. So I think be you being authentic about yourself also kind of open up different kind of doors for you. You don't have to go in um, like describing yourself in a manner which you don't fit for.
Yeah. And um, when it comes to developers who are speaking, whether it's at a meetup or a conference, don't feel pressured to code live on stage, especially because that's not something you naturally do. I mean, often when you're working on your projects, you're either at your own desk at work or at home working away, and you don't have like a spotlight of people watching you do what you do. So I think sometimes um, the topic of authenticity also means that you need to be comfortable with your style. So if you're not comfortable coding live on stage, you can have snippets of your code on a PowerPoint slide to show people more about what it is that you are sharing and wanting to talk to them about. And in some of the conferences I've attended, often people who code live talk about demo gods. Like you would have practiced 10,000 times, and the minute it's demo time, things are not going as planned or they're not running as planned. Be calm and know that it happens to the best of us. So um, I think for me, the main thing I wanted to drive through this conversation is about one. Uh, Bringing yourself to the stage. So I remember Lily earlier on in the opening of the Africa stream, she said that she commented something that her dad once told her when she was part of Sunday school, and it reminded me a little bit about another hat that I wear. So at home, I'm a Sunday school teacher, and I think that has helped me with public speaking and also unpacking lessons in a form that people are able to understand. So I'm still the same person, Lebogang, whether I'm at work as someone in tech or I'm at home as a Sunday school teacher. I have to bring all of that in whenever I speak at conferences. So I've been lucky enough to have participated in conferences not just local to South Africa, but international conferences like that of the IEEE. So for those of you who might not know the organization, it's a non-profit organization and it stands for Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers. And the platform that got me to that stage was doing what I love on campus when I was a university student. So I'm one person that loves sharing knowledge, and whatever I learn, I always try and teach it to someone else so that I can go and learn more. So at university, we used to host what's now commonly known as meetups, where we choose a topic and we invite students to do a show and tell on it or invite someone from industry to come and speak at that conference. So every year, the IEEE would host a conference where students from all over the world could gather at a country and attend workshops and present some of them. So I've been privileged enough to not only be an attendee at some of those workshops, but also be a conference speaker or someone that's conducting a workshop there. And And the experience was really phenomenal because there you meet a whole diverse group of people from multicultural backgrounds, you know. So, but one thing that made me stand out was the fact that I was me, you know, I wasn't trying to be someone else. So, whilst it's good to have role models and people you look up to, don't lose yourself trying to mimic someone else. Your uniqueness is something that is needed in industry. And it's also, so I believe that coding is different from maths in the sense that it's a form of an art. You know, it can be a science, yes, but it's actually art. So there's no one way of doing something. You could write code in a certain way and someone else could do it in a different way. So you sharing how you do things could actually enlighten someone else, you know. And whether you've got 6 months experience as someone who's a developer or more than a year's experience as someone who's a developer, we all can learn from everyone else. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I used to struggle with this and now I managed to solve it. You know, it could be a pain point for many other people. So why not sign up at a meetup and show and tell about that topic? And I think also putting yourself in that vulnerable position pushes you to learn more because now people are looking to you for answers.
Do you have
Okay,
anything?
turns out I'm muted too, but thank you so much for sharing this. That you should feel the fear, but do it anyway. And then you said something that was profound. In the quest to overcome the fear and learning from people, don't lose yourself. And when you said that, it's important that you share your story, you share your journey. I really like that particular point because I mentioned early on that your experience is unique to you, your journey is unique to you. You're able to share it from where it affects you the most and for where you've experienced it well. So the very moment I realized that everybody has opinions and how I've experienced it is my own story, I started owning things up. I mean, when I'm applying for conferences, normally I've had invites, but not really applied for say to speak, but applied to submitted workshops, and these workshops are normally in teams. So when I'm working with a team, what comes to my mind is I try to make the team diverse as possible. I do a lot of advocacy and policy and non-coding tech. So I try to find somebody who does coding tech. I try to find another person who does, say, from another multi-stakeholder group, say, government, but has insight on the topic. And it turns out that when we share the story, on the panel. People have different views because of where they're coming from, how they've experienced it, and what they know about it. So it means if you're shying away from submitting anything, you may have a story that will be unique for another person to build a project on, or to start a conversation on, or to even start an advocacy on. And we even learned from the previous speaker that normally, if you've not even have had experience, it's interesting enough for people to see what views beginners would have. So for somebody who's a beginner, for somebody who's looking at it and thinking, maybe I'm not just cut up for this. How about you start? Because this is how people would build, would find you, want to collaborate with you, want to be part of your journey, or want to even share insight to make your fruitful. So I like the way you mentioned not losing yourself. Don't put it out there and be authentic about how your story, be genuine with it. See, I've just gotten in here. I don't have experience, and I'm glad to connect with anybody and everyone who's interested to help in my journey. And who
Yeah,
knows, you are up to the next big thing. Yeah, so I
yeah.
really appreciate those thoughts.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and Sam, just before I came on, spoke about something that is very important, passion. So if you're passionate about something, it will naturally come out. So maybe for your first meetup talk or your first conference, pick a topic that you are really passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, people will feel that, and the energy in the room will also feel that, you know. So yeah, passion doesn't lie. So I think for persons wanting to sign up as speakers, pick a topic that you are passionate about and go and share on that specific topic. And Lily, you also mentioned something quite a number of times on experience, and I think that can be evaluated in different ways. I know there are people who are very active participants at university tech groups, yet they think they don't have experience at speaking at conferences. If you can stand up in front of your class and make an announcement, or stand up between a group of your classmates and share a topic on something, to me, you are experienced, you know? So please believe in yourself. Don't think that, hey, I don't know these guys, or now I'm taking it onto a virtual stage where people don't even know the city that I come from, and who am I to tell them on a certain topic? Do it anyway, you know? So feel the fear, but do it anyway. So if you've ever had a recital, whether it was at primary school, high school, or university, I'm here to tell you, you've got experience, you know?
Yeah, with the university aspect, I think mostly because we know ourselves, it makes it
Mhm.
quite easier just to, I mean, interact with your classmates, right? But
Yeah,
when you are going to speak at a bigger conference, the only thing that you might be thinking is, oh, these guys maybe have been working for more than 5 years, 6, or they have been working in the industry for long, and at least they have experience about even what I'm going to talk about, right?
yeah,
So you might be thinking about the flaws that you are probably going to make when you are having your talk. But I
yeah,
think for me, it shouldn't even think about the flaws and maybe the bad side of whatever you're going to discuss. It should be for learning experience, because everything is just about learning and evolving. So if you are going in for the purpose of learning, I think you shouldn't even think about it that, oh, I don't really have that kind of experience. I mean,
yeah,
doing that also experience. You are gaining experience through that. So you just have to jump in and do that.
yeah. Um, so another thing I want to share based on what you've, oh no,
Is it something?
um, sorry, I think I'm on mute.
No, you are not muted. I can hear
Oh,
you.
sorry. Sorry, on my side, on my view, I look frozen and quiet, so I wasn't sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Um, thank you, thank you. So based on what you're saying, Oliver, about people in the room maybe having more experience than you on the topic that you are speaking about, I
Yeah,
think today many developers, especially the young ones, have a unique opportunity in the sense that the technology that you are working in is not that old. You know, I mean, some of the programming languages like Go, um, it's really very young languages, you know. I was
yeah,
actually surprised that a language like Python is 30 years old because I only learned it recently. But the applications of Python have now gone beyond its original intent, you know. So you have people who are web developers that can use the scripting language, and you've got other people that like working with hardware technology that can learn Python and use that. But the applications for it are are now, you know, open-ended. But if
yeah,
you adopt a framework that's like less than 5 years old or even 3 years old, you know, you are an expert in the matter. You know, even people that have years and years of experience, whether in a .NET language uh, or any other object-oriented programming language, like from that perspective, they looking to you as the expert because now you are sharing something that's quite new. So I think gone are the days where you can enter a room and you have people that have over 20 plus years experience that you should be scared of. I believe you can really challenge them. So the
yeah,
first time I actually entered the Microsoft offices, I was invited there to come and present one of my Windows Phone apps that I had developed. And I was super scared because I was in a room that had C sharp developers with years of experience. I
yeah,
mean, I wasn't even being taught C sharp at school. We were learning C++ and Java, and I was learning C sharp on my own on the side. And that's how I managed to build these Windows Phone apps. But I realized as I was standing there in front of that audience speaking, because the concept of Windows Phone development was still pretty new,
Yeah.
at that moment, I was the expert, you know, and it also touched on languages beyond C sharp, like XAML. So the front, um, or let me say the front end development of any Windows Phone or Windows desktop application is XAML. So it looks like it's a markup language. It looks like XML, but it's for applications, and just even explaining the life cycle of what a Windows Phone app is, the components that are involved, it made me, you know, become confident to say, hey, I've got something that I can share. I've got something that I can offer. These developers might have more technical experience than me, but in this domain, even if I only have like 2 weeks experience or something, I know more than them. And hence, I've been given that platform to share my knowledge. So, hence, I'm saying to any upcoming developers or anyone in the tech space, because the tech space is really very mature now in the sense that we've got many diverse participants and not naturally from a technical background as well. We each have a role to play, and I think a lot of people can learn from us. So feel the fear and do it anyway.
Thank you. Is Lily connected? Let me find out. Okay, then have to also look into the audience, the participants, if they have questions as well, then we can answer them. But in case maybe you have something else to talk about, maybe you can also share with us.
Okay, so this is my first time doing a fireside chat. I thought, let me do something different. If the Global Diversity CFP conference is about being vulnerable, why not
Yeah.
put myself in a vulnerable position? And instead of doing the traditional talk where I present something and I speak on it, let me try out a fireside chat because I've never done a fireside chat ever in my life. So this was a first time experience for me.
Oh, cool. We have one question here, and it's about when you get feedback and criticism from people, how do you weed out? Um, okay, how do you weed out the good feedback and the criticism that you should work on from the criticism you shouldn't? You mentioned happens. So what kind of question is it? Um, okay, let me try to understand it better from what she's trying to say.
I think I get
Okay,
it.
okay,
Yeah. So they can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand from the question is when you get feedback, how do you weed out
the
um,
good one.
maybe direct criticism or something that can actually build you to improve, you know? So often people who give constructive criticism, that is criticism that actually enables you to improve, they don't just bash you down, you know, they propose a solution. For example, let's say I repeat the word every time I speak, you know. I might be deaf to that, and someone who's listening to me and paying attention could actually say, hey, that is a little bit distracting. How about you pause instead of saying a lot, you know? And then I can also start recording myself and listen to myself when I speak to ensure that I don't go when I speak, you know? So I've learned that people who want to build you have a way of giving you feedback that not only points out areas of improvement, but ideas or suggestions as to how you can improve. So that's how I would read out the criticism. And also, I'm gonna quote a cliche. You know, there's a quote that says, "You're not ice cream, so not everyone will like you."
Oh, hello. Are you still?
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's the only question that we have here, and we are supposed to end at 11:30. So it's 11:30 now, but we can use maybe 2 more minutes to um, finalize on this topic, and we have our next speaker to also join us.
Okay. For me, Oliver, Lily, and the organizers behind the conference, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity. And I really believe in what this conference stands for, giving persons from underrepresented backgrounds an opportunity to be first time speakers at conferences, and also learning from people who've spoken at multiple conferences on how um, one can get started. So I really love the idea behind this conference, and I'm humbled to have been part of it. Thank you.
You're welcome, and we also appreciate the time with us. I think we got the question correct. So yeah. Okay, Lily, do you
Okay.
have anything else to share?
Just to appreciate I level. I hope I got the name right. Um,
Yes.
I like that she reached out. The message is for everyone, regardless of the level you are in your speaking journey or in your conference application journey. For the beginners, there was something for you. People intermediate, the experts, there was something for us. That at the crux of the matter, be true to the journey, free to consult, get in the work, and go for it when you can. Thank you so much, Lebo. This was really spot on. I truly appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye.